Alright, what's going on, everybody? So recently I stumbled onto a fantasy comedy anime called Bofuri, which just started its first season a couple weeks ago, and I was quite surprised how much I enjoyed it. I went into the show not knowing anything about it, and I was completely blindsided by just how funny and entertaining it was. For those of you who don't know what Bofuri is, it's essentially a fantasy video game anime similar to Rising of Shield Hero or Sword Art Online. As I stated in my review of the first episode of Bofuri, it is one of those series that I would have avoided if I knew beforehand what it was. After seeing just how much I enjoyed Bofuri, I decided to give Cautious Hero a chance recently. I remember watching the preview for Cautious Hero before its season started and completely dismissed it immediately because it didn't seem like it would be my cup of tea. Usually, shows like this with a bizarre premise could easily turn me off. However, after giving it a chance and binge watching this series within a couple of days, I just have one thing to say. I was wrong. Cautious Hero is a fantastic show that succeeds at delivering unrelenting comedic moments and a surprisingly good story. For those that don't know, Cautious Hero, the hero is overpowered but overly cautious, is a fantasy comedy isekai series based off of a light novel by Light Touchi. And forgive me if I mispronounced that guy's name. It tells the story of a lone-raked healing goddess named Astarte who summons a hero from another world named Seiya Ryugen to save the world of Gaia Brande from a demon king and his heavenly kings. Astarte is excited when she notices Seiya's amazing stats, but there is one problem. He's overly cautious. Seiya is cautious to the point of being paranoid and refuses to fight opponents without proper training and preparation. I really liked Seiya's unapologetically blunt attitude and hyper-skepticism. His personality and overly cautious behavior made for some really funny moments. The character was given a really good backstory that justifies his excessively careful behavior. The author definitely put effort into writing Seiya as a true character. The character's personality and behavior wasn't written as a simple gimmick, for lack of a better word, to sell the show. I initially thought that Seiya would be a paper thin and a one-trick pony sort of character whose gimmick could get stale. Fortunately, this wasn't the case, as there is much more to the character that isn't made apparent until the final two episodes of the season. This series avoids the problem a show like One Punch Man would have, where the main character is so OP that the viewers would lose interest because they already know how the fights are going to end. In the case of One Punch Man, there would be very little suspense if the show followed Saitama closely, so the series was forced to focus on the rest of its cast in the second season. Like the name of the show suggests, Seiya is OP, but he's not invisible. The character's vulnerability allows for some level of uncertainty and keeps things interesting. If you're like me and you hate when characters suddenly learn new skills or get stronger without a shred of evidence that they trained, then you'll definitely be able to appreciate this series. There are plenty of times where Seiya has to train with others to get stronger. Given that there are plenty of shows with OP main characters in the isekai genre that are OP for the sake of being OP, it's sort of refreshing to see a character hit a roadblock and train to reach a new level of OPness. Even if Seiya's overtraining is played up for laughs, I can appreciate it on a serious level. There's a good balance of lighthearted, comedic moments and more serious moments. Even a few emotional moments within the last three episodes, which I thought the show handled pretty well. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but White Fox Studio was responsible for the show's animation. This is the same studio behind ReZero, Steins Gate, and Goblin Slayer. To be honest, I was never blown away by the animation, but that's not to say it was bad. The animation was fine, I just didn't notice anything worth commenting on. But I will say that they did a great job making Ristardi so expressive. In general, I feel like this series has a bunch of memorable characters that were brought to life not only by quality animation, but top-notch voice acting. I watched every episode with the exception of the finale in glorious English dub. At the time of me writing this review, the final episode is not available in English yet, so I had to watch the finale in Japanese. After experiencing both, I'd say that the English dub is superior in terms of voice acting, but I wouldn't be mad if anyone said that I'm biased in this situation. One could definitely complain about Funimation using the same voice actors over and over, but I feel as though they fit the characters quite nicely. I was actually surprised that Seiya is voiced by a newer voice actor, Anthony Bowling, instead of someone like Chris Sabat. I think the standout is Jamie Marchi as Ristardi. Her delivery seems way more exaggerated than the Japanese rendition, but it really works. She basically does the same voice that she did for Kana in Fairy Tail, which probably shouldn't fit the character given Ristardi's design. My only issue with the English dub is some of the Americanized dialogue. Before I continue, let me just ask that if I'm wrong about the difference in dialogue, let me know because I've only watched the English version, but I have a feeling that a lot has changed. The dialogue is hit and miss. You get stuff like Seiya saying, "Come at me, bruh," or "Hey, pee pants." There's even a moment where Ristardi mentions feminism after Seiya hits Rosalie. I just knew that someone at Funimation left their mark on the script, or I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments section. One last thing I want to mention before I wrap up this review is just how much I like the plot of this show. Yeah, there are some cliche fantasy tropes in the story, and this being an isekai, you kinda know what to expect to a degree, but I like the unique setup of this series. The idea of gods summoning people to save other worlds is a cool idea, and for some odd reason, the setup in the world of the gods, it just gave me a whole Yu Yu Hakusho type of vibe. Overall, I believe that Cautious Hero is worth watching if you like fantasy or like the latest isekai trend. Even if you're on the fence about watching it, I'd say watch a couple episodes to see if you like it. It's easily now probably one of my favorite isekai, probably in my top 5 maybe. I'm looking forward to season 2, and if I had to give the series a score, I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this show. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.